All right, let's talk about one of the big selling features of this wheel, in my opinion, is look, I can lift this up with one arm. You know how long it's been since I've been able to lift a new wheel that I've gotten with one arm? A very long time. That's because the InMotion V9 is light. It's 23 kilograms, right about 50 pounds. It's the lightest suspension EUC that's currently out there. This is even lighter than the Begode Falcon, which I believe weighs about 55 pounds. So it's lighter than a Falcon. And I'll tell you, like, if you want to take this in public transportation, if you want to put this in a locker at the gym, you know, it has a nice slim profile that you're actually able to do that realistically. The portability possibilities with the V9 are really a selling point, in my opinion. The display in the V9, very visible, very front facing or front positioned. So when you look down, it's easy to see your speed. It's easy to see your battery level. I do like this. I've always been a fan of the color display that's in like the V13, the V12. Love that, but this is more readable, to be honest, and gets the job done. The V9 does come with included Bluetooth speakers. I know you probably can't pick it up on the recording, but sound is it's adequate. There's not much bass in those speakers, but it's good. And let's see, can we go louder? Okay, I'm gonna go loud, but again, this might not show up that well on the video, but let's try. We'll go max volume. Okay, that's pretty loud actually. Loud enough that even at the top speed of the wheel, which is 28 miles an hour, you would be able to, which is what, 45 kilometers an hour? You'd be able to hear that for sure. Another cool feature is the Ride Connect function. I don't know how well that'll show up on camera. I'm also recording the screen, where this has a built-in cellular card which allows you to track your wheel. Say in the unfortunate situation that your wheel was stolen, if the wheel is on, you can see the location of your wheel real time on a Google map or an Apple map, I guess maybe this is. So that's a new feature that adds to the surprising amount of features that this wheel has, despite its very competitive pricing of $12.99. The wheel, and this Ride Connect feature, this is something when you register your wheel with the app, it will automatically walk you through the process of setting up the Ride Connect. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's not difficult. So if that's important to you, like I don't have a lot of worries about my wheel being stolen. And my understanding is though that this is gonna have other uses in the future and future software updates. So right now is a good way just to tell where your wheel is, but there's gonna be additional features added that support this feature, that support this technology in the future. So that's another cool thing. This wheel is safe. I think it'd be fair to say that this is probably the safest wheel that's ever been made. It's so safe that this wheel actually is UL certified. You know, like a certification that electronics normally get, because they have to be safe. They have to go through vigorous testing. This wheel is the first UL certified wheel ever made. So, you know, there's been concerns about wheels catching on fire. I know that there's some places that they literally won't let you keep PEVs in your apartment or whatever because of the potential fire risk. This wheel is about as safe as you can imagine. It uses 750 watts of Samsung 50GB batteries, has smart BMS, it's IPX6, water resistant. Another important safety feature, this is a safety feature that I paid much more attention to since I had my accident back in October. It has a 16x3 tubeless tire. Tubeless tires are safer because you don't have the inherent risk of tube failure. So this comes standard with a tubeless tire. Again, that's something that a lot of EUC manufacturers have been slow to adopt, but InMotion is doing that with the V9, which I think is awesome. All right, let's talk about the charge port. Charge port is located in the rear. In here you have the port for the included charger. The early model V9s, early production unit V9s, they're shipping with a 4 amp charger. The stock charger is 2 amps. I had the 4 amp charger with mine. It's only a 750 watt hour battery, so I mean it's not a big deal if you have a 2 amp charger, but I do have the 4 amp charger with mine. In addition to that, you have a Type A and a Type C USB port, which you can use to power charge your various devices. So that's great. Again, on a very inexpensive yet full-featured wheel. Do you see the theme? Do you see the theme here? I do. The pedals are a good size. Even though I have big feet, I did not feel like the pedals were too small for me, even though this is a relatively small wheel. They do have nubs on them, which give you enough grip for the kind of riding that you would expect to be doing with a wheel like this. So again, they did not skimp when it came to pedals. Some other features that this wheel has, it has what they call group ride audio sync. This isn't something that I can really test because I only have one V9 here, but basically if you had multiple people with V9s, you could sync them up that they all are playing the same music. So I guess in a group scenario, that would be kind of cool. In addition, you have this LED light that can be configured several ways. You can change the color. You can have it coincide, its movement coincide with your speed, or you can actually have it a constant color, or you can have it connected to the music, whatever music is coming through the Bluetooth speakers as well. The one, here's a negative thing. Not very negative, but I thought at first it'd be cool to make this light orange, right? A lot of InMotion wheels have orange as their accent color. So I went in here to the light effect and I moved the dial to what looks like orange, right? Does that look like orange to you? It does to me. But unfortunately on the wheel, orange kind of looks like a yellow amber. It doesn't look orange. So I wasn't able to match this color, but in the big picture, that doesn't matter very much at all. As far as the ride on this wheel, it has a 1,000-watt motor, which delivers very smooth power. I have not had a situation where I felt like this was underpowered. The headlight on here, it's the V14 headlight. It is movable. You can move it up and down, because I needed to do that last night when I did a night ride. It does have a disconnect on the handle. When you lift it, it will actually disconnect the motor, so you can lift it, carry it upstairs without turning the wheel off. That's always convenient. Trolley handle. Trolley handle, you can actually operate it with one hand if you wanted to, I guess. Like some trolley handles and other InMotion wheels, just a flip-up handle. Feels very sturdy, high enough for me. You know, I'm like 6'3", it's high enough to be comfortable for me. When you don't need it, you just pop it down. Simple, but effective. Yeah, there's a lot of things about this wheel that I would say are simple, but effective. One of the negatives that you would hear people say about the V9 is they're like, it's an unconventional looking wheel. It's not the best looking wheel. I would say that it is different than a lot of wheels as far as the way it looks, but I've always said, for as long as I've been riding EUCs, looks are always secondary to me, always. You know, what matters the most is how the wheel feels, how the wheel performs. That is what matters the most, and to me, the V9 delivers in those areas. One of the very important thing when it comes to ride, of course, is the suspension, right? The suspension on this wheel, it's dual air shocks, similar to what's on a V11. You have a lower chamber and then there's an upper chamber up here. I have the rubber plugs removed right now. There's an upper chamber up here that has two valves that allow you to moderate the dampening and rebound on the suspension. The one thing I would say is when I initially went by the chart that was in the manual, it recommended for my riding weight, which is about 85 kilograms, that I pump it up to between 150 and 180 PSI. I pumped it to 160 PSI. And my initial experience with that was it was too bouncy. It was too hard. I did not like it at that pressure. So I actually dropped the pressure down to 120 PSI, which is 30 PSI below the minimum rated PSI. It felt way, way, way better to me. So at least for the way that I like a suspension wheel to feel, I would recommend maybe starting on the low side with the PSI, and then if it feels too soft to you, move it up. But right now I currently have 120 PSI in the bottom, and I think I still have 40 PSI in the top. And for me, my riding weight's, like I said, about 85 kilograms. It feels good. It feels good. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the wheel. One other thing I wanted to mention, the range that they list this as maximum of 60 kilometers. I would say a more realistic range on this would be between 40 and 50 kilometers, between 20 and 30 miles, I would say. I'll do my own video where I do a range test in this thing, but you know, you can expect to get between 20 and 30 miles, I would say realistically, on the V9. But yeah, my experiences with the wheel have been positive, and Myself and other people were skeptical about like when they announced the price of it, like, well, how good can it be for that money? I mean, it's $1,300 16-inch wheel did not exist. It did not, well, I shouldn't say that. A 16-inch suspension wheel did not exist. And when you factor in all of the features that this wheel has, the build quality that InMotion puts into all of their wheels, to me, it really is one of the best values out there. It's a great pick up and go wheel. If you got to run an errand, you got to run 10 miles or somewhere, and it's going to be hard to beat something like this as far as its convenience, its size, its weight. It just has a lot of things going for it. I feel like InMotion did a really good job. Did I mention the top speed of this wheel? I don't know if I did. Yeah, I think I did. 28 miles an hour or 45 kilometers an hour. I had it up into the low to mid 20s, and that felt plenty fast enough for me. So anyways, those are my initial thoughts on the V9. I do plan to be doing individual videos that will cover other aspects. You know, I'll do a Dunkin' Donut ride on it. Like I said, I'll do a range test. I don't feel a need to do a speed test on it or anything. Maybe I'll take it to the swamp. That would be interesting, right? I haven't been to the swamp in a little while. See how it does in the swamp. So anyways, if you found this video interesting, please think about giving it a big thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts below. What are your thoughts about the V9? What were your expectations about the V9? And do you think the V9 could have a slot in your electric unicycle army? For me, it definitely does. It definitely does. Definitely. A suspension wheel at that price with these features, it doesn't exist currently. So, great wheel. So that's all I got, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, Duffman out.